Hello, hello, fourth graders. Today is Thursday, May 14th, and today we are going to talk about the last packet in the series, and the last place we're going to visit in Israel, and that is the Judean desert. Okay? What is the Judean desert? Where is it? How can we find it? All more you can find in that packet. But today, unlike other places where I send you to read, I want to tell you just a little bit from my experience about this amazing place that's called the Judean desert. Um, and we're going to start with the name, okay? You can read about it a little bit. The name Judean desert, as well as the name Jewish, is taken from the word Judah. Judah was the fifth son of Jacob, okay, one of the three fathers of Israel. We had Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So Jacob had a lot of sons, 12 sons. The fifth is the name of the fifth is Judah. And this area, this territory where the Judean desert these days dwells, that's in the same territory as probably as the tribe of Judah long, long time ago consisted, okay, existed. So hence the name, the Judean desert, okay? Now, you're going to read about a little bit about the Judean desert, what was it used for, who used to come there, and why. But I want to tell you just a little bit about my short experience from there, and I'm going to do it as I'm going to explain about the packet. So the first thing I want you to do, I want you to read this part all together. After you're done doing this, and again, you can pause the video, read, and then continue. If you're done reading the first page, please open the packet and you can look at the first thing. I just want you to look at the pictures. They didn't add here, they didn't add here as many sites or as many places as you can see in the Judean desert, okay? So what I want you to do now, I want you to go to Google Maps that you know and love, type in Judean desert, the comma Israel, and I want you to see the size of it. Where is it located compared to Israel? Is it north to Jerusalem, above Jerusalem in the Israeli map, or is it southern to Jerusalem? Is it near Eilat, which we learned about last time? You guys talked about, learned about the Negev. Is it all the way down in the south? Is it somewhere in the center of the country? I want you to go and look it up. After you've seen where it is, once you type Judean Desert, Israel in Google Maps, it will show you, as always, just a few places that pops out. See if you can find just a little bit of those places that they're talking about here, and I'm going to give you a quick brief. So they're talking about Engedi, they're talking about Metzada, they're talking about the Qumran caves, okay? The city of Sodom, all those places in Hebrew we say Sdom, all those places that some of them are mentioned in the Bible, a lot of them actually are mentioned in the Bible, but some of them are very modern the way they are today. And of course, the Dead Sea, which I guess you all know and learned about already. We certainly talked about the Dead Sea last year in the third grade. So what I want you to do, I'm gonna go through those places or some of those places, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about them. So let's start with Engedi. You have the meaning of the word and what does it see and what is it used for. But I can tell you that as a guy who likes to hike, Engedi is one of the most beautiful places you can see. The Judean desert is, well, a desert, as you can imagine. Everything is dry, colors of brown and yellow and some reddish colors all around you. But then in the middle of all this thing, or should I say a little bit in the west of all this desert, finally, when you walk down in the desert, you see this oasis, this spring of water just emerges from the depth of the ground and nourish everything. It's like a if someone could take a picture of Judean desert from the top. So once you look at Engedi, you can see one green corner in this vast desert. Okay, um, Masada is one of the most celebrated, or used to be anyway, very celebrated place, very mentionable place, obviously. Very, very cool place to see. Not always easy to hike, although you can get there by some kind of an elevator. Um, but I'd much rather to climb to Masada. You can do it a lot of times, as you'll read. You'll learn that soldiers climb to that. Usually, we do those hikes in the middle of the night. I did that with my soldiers in Israel. And you get to the top of Mount Masada just before sunrise, just before the sun goes above the mountains in Jordan to the east, and you can see the sun, and it's spectacular, spectacular, spectacular view. You can see the reflection of the sun just as it starts to rise, bounces off the Dead Sea, the salty sea, Yam HaMelach, and it's quite spectacular. I would like to ask you, my friends, upon reading this packet, every word that you don't know, you read it and wait, I don't know what that word means. Do yourself a favor and Google it. There are some words here that are kind of difficult. Now, I thought about it a lot. Should I just give you the meaning? And I think it would be much more prudent if you go ahead and look it up yourself. So, for example, when you're going to learn about Masada, you're going to come across the word zealots. Okay. Now, this word appears in certain places, but it's specifically true to Masada. And I want you to look it up, see what it means. And it's true not just for this word, but to all the other words as well. Okay. Let's move on to the next page, a page that tells you about the settlement of Qumran. Okay, Qumran, it's a place. It used to be today we called Me'arot Qumran, the caves of Qumran, because we found for the first time in 2,000 years we found scrolls that are ancient, 2,000 years old, that's preserved in a wonderful, wonderful state inside caves, um, hold inside pots, and it's a beautiful story to itself how it was found, but we won't get into that now. So the Dead Sea Scrolls are a magnificent archaeological evidence, and you'll be interested to know that some biblical books that we know today preserved just in the same manner or very close to the same manner they appear in the Dead Sea Scroll, and that's quite amazing. The same book preserved for 2,000 years. That is remarkable. Right below it, you can read a little bit about Sodom and the story about Lot and Abraham. And you learned about it when I was away, guys, about the story about Abraham and Lot and how they separated. And Lot went to the green place he saw. There was Sodom, and what happened to the city of Sodom, what God did to it. To this day, you're going to read about Lot's wife and how she turned into this statue of salt. But till this day, there's a statue or some kind of a rock, I should say, in Israel that people call this is the Eshet Lot. This is the place where she turned into stone, to a salty stone. If you look at it, it's not exactly look like a woman, but if you work your imagination, you can get there. And of course, Yam HaMelach, okay, the Dead Sea. You'll read why it's called the Dead Sea right here in the packet. Now, before I'll send you to today's assignment, I want to say something about yesterday's assignment. Okay, when I sent you assignment on Wednesday, after on Tuesday you read a little bit about the Negev. The assignment I sent you about the Negev for the first time, I didn't want you to do the back side of the Negev. I'm talking about this assignment. I didn't want you to do those, the salad and those things, those pictures. So ignore that. Instead, I've sent you a link today, both in emails and in overblooms, that will send you to a Google Forms. I am expecting you guys to answer all the questions as far as to the best of your abilities, but the questions are not that hard. And see how it goes. It's something new that I'm trying just to see if it's going to work. Okay. Now, the last thing I'm going to tell you is your assignments. This page, please. Finish the assignment. This one, you need to cross out words that has, you got words that are floating in the Dead Sea. You need to read the instructions here, okay? You got some words, you need to cross out words that has nothing to do with the Judean desert. So for example, I'm gonna help you out with just one. Let's say Dizengoff Street. Dizengoff Street has nothing to do with the Judean desert. We learned about this street when we talked about Tel Aviv. You remember? So Dizengoff Center is not Dizengoff Street. I'm sorry. It's not one of the places that you can find in Sodom. So cross it out, okay? Mark X on it. You need to do, I hope you guys did, the rest of the packets I've sent you so far in order to answer this one correctly. So words that has nothing to do with the Judean desert, cross out. This thing, guys, the second assignment, I know it's kind of blurry. Let me try to fix it. Okay, I don't know how well you can see it, but I'm talking about this assignment. You guys need to read this part, the left side, archaeological dig. They'll explain to you what does that mean, archaeological. And then you need to use the letters Z, H, or Z, H, Z, or V. Now, on some words, if you're not sure about them, you can use two words, but I do advise you, use your intellect, use your brain, okay? Does it make sense that the word, the phrase, the sentence, pieces of marble pillars, would that have anything to do with, I don't know, left behind by modern visitors? Someone would carry pieces of marble pillars on his back? At most likely, it would no. So the word V shouldn't be appear next to the word pieces of marble, the sentence, pieces of marble pillars. And I can tell you more that the zealots, after you read, you looked it up online, at most likelihood, they didn't carry any marble pieces of marble pillars. Okay, very heavy, doesn't make sense. There is a guy, however, makes perfect sense who would fit their marble pillars. So use your head to sound. If you're not sure, you can use more than one letter. Okay. And this is it, my friends. This is today's assignment. I hope you learned a little bit more about the Judean desert and what's going on in there. Beautiful, beautiful place. That would be our last place we're going to visit in Israel. I will tell you, my friends, today on Thursday, we have a Zoom meeting. So if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask me. I'm saying that because some of you might look at this video before the Zoom meeting, which I hope you will. Okay. But if you haven't, that's perfectly fine. If you have any questions for me, bring it to you on our Zoom meeting tomorrow. And I will ask you different questions just to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay. Just to make sure you did all your assignment and you're good. The second thing I will tell you, and that's going to be the last thing for today, is that next week, my friends, you are going to be experiencing playing a game with your friends based on all the knowledge you've got in Israel. Okay, we visited Old Jerusalem, Modern Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, Haifa, Galil, the Galilee. We visit the coastline. We visit the Negev, and now we visit the Judean desert. Tons of places. Okay, beautiful. I think anyway, these are places worth visiting, and I'm going to ask you questions about those places. So I would highly encourage you to review the material on Tuesday, so you'll come prepare to our game. We're going to have a Zoom meeting on next Tuesday. I'll explain more later on. This is not the time for that. I'll explain tomorrow in the Zoom meeting what is it that we're going to do. So this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this assignment. I will wish you a wonderful day and I will see you next time. Bye.